Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with podcast number 171. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did. It absolutely went too fast, but it was exciting. My wife and I, we took in we're fostering a dog. If some of you may know that my dog, Riley, died this last year. And although we have two itty bitty little dogs, I have a Chihuahua. Her name is Precious, and yes, she is. And then we are house sitting for our son, who's a pilot in the Navy, his wiener dog, and who's so old. He used to be a really fast licker. I don't know if you guys ever had a dog that licked a lot. Benji used to, which is the wiener dog, he used to really lick a lot and really fast. He's gotten so old that his licking is like really, really, really slow. And it's poor guy. He's trying hard, though. When it's hard to lick, I think that maybe the good days are gone. But we love him. Anyway, we're fostering a new dog, and it's a German Shepherd, beautiful, beautiful girl. And German Shepherds, if anybody doesn't know this, they shed like crazy. And we have hardwood floors, so we're consistently and constantly cleaning our hardwood floor to get rid of the dog hair. I'm thinking about maybe just shaving the dog. No, I'm kidding, guys, for all the animal rights activists out there. That's just a joke. But we're fostering the dog to see if we actually want to take it in as a dog ourselves. We received it from a shelter who saves dogs, which is kind of cool. When I was growing up, there was no such thing, or no one knew about it. But now it's kind of all over the place, and it's kind of a cool thing. Lady and her trainer, the dog's trainer, brought it in from LA, which is like a 2-hour drive each way for them. And we met it, and only has one big problem, or a little problem, depending on how you look at it. It does not like guys. And so we're battling through that. And it is a German Shepherd, so I'm battling that as well. Anyway, that's enough about the weekend for me. I hope you guys had fun with yours. And today we have a scenario question sent in, and it is a long one. So I'm going to get through it as good as I can, and hopefully I'll answer it. Little housekeeping before we start. New Year's resolutions are things that people set as the new year arrives and begins. Remember, when you set your goals for 2016, try to make them realistic, but a little bit out of reach. Not so far out of reach you get depressed, but just a little bit farther than what normal is for you. And make sure that they don't conflict. As an example, we're going to set a goal for our health. And maybe we're going to set a goal for our social environment. Maybe our social environment, we want to be a bakery or a pastry chef. And we want to make the best pastries of anybody in our neighborhood. And yet on our physical goal, we want to have a six-pack ab stomach. Well, I'm going to guess that if you want to be a pastry chef, you are probably going to have a hard time having a six-pack ab stomach, and vice versa. So let's set goals that don't conflict. And remember to always use a positive when setting a goal. Don't use a negative. So I want to lose, I want to quit, I want to stop. Those are negative words, so try to do something more positive than negative. And then share your goals. I mean, we all have to be held accountable, and which is a good thing. I mean, let's face it, accountability is great. Some of us can internalize it, but most of us, we need someone who is like sitting on our shoulder, who says, do one more push-up, do one more this, one more that. And so get someone to hold you accountable for the 6 areas of your life you're going to set goals in. And they're going to be different people, because your spiritual and your ethics goal may be somebody that's very spiritual, very ethical. And your business and professional or income goal is going to be probably someone different. But find those folks, let them know what you want to do and what you want to achieve, and be okay with them saying that, hey, you're not doing the job that you said you wanted to do. And take that criticism so you can fall forward and benefit yourself and grow as a person. So set your goals. Remember, we set them daily, we set them weekly, we set them monthly, we set them every quarter, we set them twice a year, and we set them for the year. And you kind of start backwards when you set your goals. So you kind of figure out in your mind where you want to arrive in a year from now, and you work backwards. And say, okay, if I want to be able to do 1,000 push-ups in a row without stopping in 12 months from today, how many push-ups should I be able to do in 6 months? If I need to do that many push-ups in 6 months, how many push-ups should I be able to do in 3 months? And then 3 months to a month to a week to a day. And how many am I going to try to add per day? And so that's how we set goals. And, we seem to achieve them easier that way than if we set them the opposite way, which is, hey, I want to do a push-up today, and then tomorrow I want to do another push-up, and then every day I'm going to add a push-up to it. Well, it may or may not work. And so fall forward. The other thing is over at Yellow Letters, for any of you guys that are doing any direct mail, if you don't take advantage of it, it's kind of crazy. It should be on your New Year's resolutions. I'd be telling my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband, if you have those things, and if not, mom, dad, sister, brother, children, something, and let them know about the gift, the Platinum membership card over there, $147. You get 15% off all of your orders in 2016. You spend $1,000 or expect to spend $1,000 in direct mail. That means you've saved $3. Your second $1,000, of course, you saved another $150. So some of you guys and gals, spend more than that because I own Yellow Letters and I know how much people spend. And ought to be able to take advantage of it. It helps both of us. One, it allows me to guide my business in a way that's profitable, and that I have the tools and resources available for you when you order, so your orders are done in a timely way, professionally, and as good as they can be. And for you, it saves you some money, so it helps both of us. So here we go, question or podcast. It's a long one, so I'm going to work my way through it. Hey, Michael, I need a little advice and hoping you could point me in the right direction. I bought a house subject to the existing financing from a guy back in June. His wife called me tonight in December saying she was going to get the property back and sell it, and that her husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a week ago and may have had it for some time. Yeah, I don't know if you get Alzheimer's like instantly. It's probably something that's gradual. I am speechless, she says. I am screwed, and there's nothing I can do, and no judge would rule in my favor. In May, he entered into a contract with me to purchase the house subject to the existing financing with the loan balance of $110,000 and some change. We closed on the property in June, the middle of June. He signed a seller due on sale disclosure, borrower's authorization to release loan information, limited power of attorney, mailing address change notification, insurance change notification, and a long list of seller acknowledgments and addendums to the purchase. In there, he initialed that he is under no duress and mentally competent, and that he entered into the purchase agreement transaction thoughtfully and deliberately. Oh my goodness, it's a long question. The loan is current. I've since put $40,000 into the property and turned it into a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house with a seller lined up to close on Friday once I finish. He sold me this house because he said he was moving with his wife, and they have 2 houses, and the 2 houses was becoming difficult to maintain. I even caught the mortgage up since it was 2 months behind when I bought it from him. Can the wife, who has never been on title, get a power of attorney to take the property from me? Will a judge allow this to happen? Can she stop me from selling this to my buyer and that I have lined up by filing list pendens? What are my options? She has threatened me. Wow. Well, I wanted to say great questions. Really not a great question, because I'd hate to be in your shoes, whoever asked me that. I'm going to try to read between the lines, and what I am not reading between the lines is something we call title insurance. So if you have title insurance, you're probably fine. I am not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. You cannot take my advice as legal opinion. You must seek out that advice for yourself. However, that's why we get title insurance, guys and gals. What is a title insurance on $110,000 transactions? What, $700? My goodness. You got to get it when you sell it to your buyer anyway. So you get title insurance in the beginning, plus you get a rider policy. Costs you a little 10% more, but then you don't have this big expense when you sell it. So it's really only costing you an itty bitty amount of money if you look at the big picture of stuff in life. But let's go back to what really is at the core. Can someone sell you something, then be diagnosed with a disease and have somebody else take that property back? Well, I'm assuming you have the deed. It is in your name, so it's not like she can go and sell it. She must then first apply for a court hearing for the judge to say that you willfully took advantage of this person. And you're the only one that knows if you did or not. No one else does. And whether or not what you did was lawful or not. If you believe that you're in the right, my attorney cost me $425 an hour. Makes that $700 title insurance policy really cheap. I would call my attorney if I were you. Now, you can't call my attorney. I'm not going to give you his name. You should never share your attorney's name with anybody, by the way, guys, gals. Anyway, I'd call my attorney and say, hey, I think I messed up because I didn't buy title insurance. Or if you did buy title insurance, I'd call my title company and say, hey, what's the ramifications here? Because keep in mind, if they insured it for you and you properly notified them of the situation and you notified them of everything you didn't conceal anything from your title company, then there was no fraud on your behalf to the title company, you'd be fine. If you don't have title insurance, yeah, you might have to call an attorney, get your attorney's opinion and them involved. But the reality is probably, if I were a gambler, I wouldn't gamble on the wife. I'd be gambling on you. When you sell the house, make sure you disclose to your title company when you sell the house that there could be an issue with the former spouse of this person. Now, in California, whether that spouse was on title or not, it's a community property state, so they'd still have to sign off on the deed that the deed transferred. If you didn't have that done, and you're in California or in a state that has community property, that you may have an issue with wife. Again, $700 title insurance policy would have solved all that. We cannot cut corners as real estate investors, people. We have to do it the correct way, the way that will serve everybody's interests the best. Yes, we create win-win situations for both us and the seller. We do not take advantage of sellers. We do not try to take advantage of economics or try to be so frugal that at the end of the day it comes and bites us in the butt. But in this case, maybe it has. I apologize for you if it did. Next time you get title insurance, do never break the chain of title insurance. Always, can I say it again? Always buy title insurance. The only time that I would not buy title insurance, gosh, let me think of the only time. I was going to say if my wife deeded something to me, my intention was never to sell it. I knew that she was only my wife, so she wasn't anybody else's wife too. Gosh, even then I'd probably get title insurance just to make sure that, because what I think I know today, my intention today, never selling something, doesn't mean that's going to be my intention tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be different than today. Things could change. I decide, I don't like that piece of property. I want to sell that piece of property and buy another piece of property. Honey, can we do that? She says, yes. I go down, sell it. Title company gets involved. They say, well, you broke title insurance, the chain of title insurance. I know I did because it was just a transfer from my wife. Oh my goodness, it's going to be harder to get title insurance and sell this thing now, where the $700 would have been worth it. So what case would I have done? What situation would I have been in where the title insurance, I would have let that not be, where I would have not bought it? Let me think. Never. I guess never is the answer. Never. Now, there could be guys that are bald-headed, guys like me that get up on stage and they tell you, oh, you don't need it. It's a waste of money. And you know what? Yeah, if you want to believe that, you go right ahead. I only know how to be honest and forthcoming and tell you what I would do. I don't know how to tell you to do what someone else would tell you to do. But some of these guys that I've seen on stage, I'm amazed, if you ask, quite frankly. I saw this person, because I used to get on stage quite a bit. I enjoy it, actually. There's nothing better than to get 4,000 people to lean forward in their seat, wanting to hear more information that you're spewing out, and I absolutely love it. But anyway, this one person was in front of me, so they always have a little opener. And they were talking about leverage, how great leverage is. And, if all you have to do is put 10% down, and after 10 houses, you'd have 100% and all this crap. That's what it was. It was crap. Because they actually got to they actually said 14. But you get to 14 houses, it's like having a house all free and clear. And I wanted to go vomit because there were so many things wrong with that statement. But no one in the audience really cared. Knew, because they were all newbies. They were all excited. Man, yeah, I can go, ruin my credit by getting 14 loans if you could get 14 loans in the first place. And then I'd have equity, a free and clear, kind of free and clear. No, you wouldn't. You'd have 14 houses that are fully encumbered that you're responsible for. And the moment that you can't be responsible or aren't responsible to it, there goes the ability to do anything else in life. So... But that's just how I feel about stuff. Gosh, this is a really quick podcast because I just think the core thing that really needed to be done here is get title insurance. And again, get an attorney involved. Spend the $4.25 an hour. Do not cheat the attorney. Don't go to your credit union and use one of their free attorneys and get 30 minutes of free counseling. What are you going to get from that person? Whatever it is going to be useless because it's free. Call an attorney up, interview your attorney just much like you would interview your title insurance company. Make sure they understand real estate. Now, that there's a difference between real estate law and what we do in real estate. Although they're both legal and they need to know everything they can know about what we do legally. When I interview my attorney, and I have 3, but the one I would use is the expensive one on something like this. I wanted to make sure that they knew what I was doing. If I'm going to memorialize something, I don't need the 425 guy. If I just want to send someone a letter, with that has attorney on the top of it, and I can get anybody out. I don't really care what position in the class they graduated. They can graduate last, as long as they pass the bar and they can call themselves an attorney. Because memorialization or memorializing a statement with the letter, that's pretty simple. So, but if I want to really fight a court case or fight an opinion, argue an opinion, not fight, sorry, then I want a guy or gal that understands my opinion and why I have validity and be able to argue that on my behalf. And so I'd have my attorney get my attorney involved, shut them up. I don't think if you did everything correctly, meaning with the exception of title insurance. So you without a doubt didn't take advantage of this person. And in June, when you bought it, and it's now December, so however many months out of it, 6 months, 7 months, I think you're fine. Title insurance would have been so much easier and so much better for you. And one of the nice things about title escrow, I'm in California. We use escrow in California. Some states use closing attorneys. But, I had a gal that spoke English to us and went through escrow and title and all that kind of good stuff. And then decided that she didn't want to sell us the property after all. And brought up the claim that she signed all this paperwork and didn't understand what she was signing because she didn't speak English. She only spoke Spanish. I thought that was odd. And so did the title escrow company, who had all of the agreements and everything in English. And of course could argue that, and anytime, their attorneys are on retainer. And of course they're going to be representing the title insurance company, who ultimately does not want to pay a claim to me. So they're going to fight vigorously on their behalf, which is a benefit to myself. And so when their attorneys got involved and explained to this poor person that she was actually committing fraud, she backed away, went away. And people get greedy. People, they look at big zeros and everything you did as a house. You made it into a 5-bedroom. You did all this kind of good stuff and blah, 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 blah. Yes, people get greedy. Call your attorney. Get title insurance next time. Anyway, guys and gals, I hope that helped. I know it's a silly question, hopefully, and hopefully I didn't give it a silly answer. I just want to let everybody know how important it is to get your ducks in a row before you decide to be a real estate investor. It's not. We're not doing what we do accidentally. We're doing what we do on purpose with thought, processes, and careful consideration and systemization. And we know the outcome before we begin. It's the guy or the gal that maybe doesn't understand the outcome before they begin that really causes a lot of hardship for themselves, and they just don't know. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what to expect, if you don't know the ramifications of action, then you're gambling at best, and you're getting lucky if you pull something off and everything goes correctly and benefits both parties correctly. You've got to kind of know, which is why people hire coaches and mentors and those kinds of things. And it is Monday again, and it's like 5 days or 4 days before Christmas. Hope everybody is going to enjoy that Christmas tree and unwrapping those presents. I was remembering how much fun it was the night before Christmas as a child. And, you didn't get to sleep. You didn't go to sleep. And even though, my parents are jerks, they did celebrate Christmas, and at least by rewrapping my brother's hand-me-downs, which I thought was exciting. It was like, new for me. So there was always that excitement of opening something the next morning. And so hopefully you guys are going to have a great holiday and Christmas and New Year's. And if you've already had Hanukkah and you celebrate that, hope you had a great Hanukkah. And let's fall forward. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.